Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Nuggets News. Tonight's video is just going to be about the correction we're seeing in the cryptocurrency markets in general today, okay? A lot of you guys, this is the first time you log in and you see a sea of red in just about everything, and let's not forget that corrections are healthy along the way in the grand scheme of things, okay? So I just want to start out by giving Davo, Hado, Josh, and Aaron a shout out. Thanks for supporting the channel, guys. All those proceeds are going to go to improving the quality of these videos and keeping the up-to-date information coming out for you guys, okay? So let's keep in mind that a lot of these cryptocurrencies are up hundreds of percent just in the last month alone, and we can't go up $100 every week, okay? At some stage, we have to have these healthy pullbacks. It allows some people to take profit, new buyers to come in. It's all part of the healthy cycle, okay, that we've seen happening in Bitcoin along the way for years now, okay? So always talk about make sure you buy coins with good fundamentals that you like so you can sleep at night and you're not going to be too worried about the day-to-day fluctuations in price. So some news events that have been moving the price lately. Bitfinex underwent distributed denial of service attacks, and for those that don't know what they are, it's basically when the servers at Bitfinex or any website get flooded with traffic, okay, and some hackers will do this on purpose to deliberately drive the price down. And I think the exchanges as a whole have become better at dealing with these and go into lockdown mode, and they tweet out saying user funds are all secure, it's nothing to worry about. But just naturally, this is going to cause a bit of panic. And once coins start to sell off, it sort of takes everything with it. And it's just to be expected to some extent. And a lot of the time, there'll be big players deliberately do this and take short positions on the market to profit from it. Okay, so it's all part of the fun. And we hear the saying "hodl," so hold on for dear life, and that's kind of what it means. Ride out these waves and don't let these little events cause you to lose sleep at night. And if you buy coins you love for the long term, you're not going to be too fussed by these day-to-day fluctuations, okay? I just want to talk about a great article that was posted by Jamie Sold on the Facebook page. It was a great read, and it's basically by a guy that goes by the name of Whale Panda, and it was titled "I Was Wrong About Ethereum," and it's a tongue-in-cheek article about why he thinks Ethereum does not have intrinsic value and I think he likes Bitcoin more than Ethereum. But I just want to quickly see if I can debunk a few of these arguments that he brings up. Okay, so he's saying Ethereum is not a store of value, and Ethereum never set out to be a true cryptocurrency. It was more about the smart contract side of things. But as it as it's become more popular and it's become faster than Bitcoin to send transactions and cheaper, the fees are a lot less expensive. In a free market, they're going to use this as a currency if it's better than Bitcoin in its current state. And I've spoken about the Bitcoin fork and how they might upgrade the network in the future. But at the moment, Bitcoin isn't the best currency for sending money from A to B, and Ethereum is a currency. So his next argument is that it isn't capped, and only 21 million Bitcoins can ever be created. Ethereum's higher than that, but Ethereum has an inflation rate of about 2%. It's going to slow, okay, as the years progress, and they've spoken about switching to proof of stake in the future, which is going to slow that even more so. But even though 2% of Ethereum is going to be created every year, at the moment the adoption rate's far above 2%, okay, so it's not a real issue. And naturally, people are going to lose their hard drive or forget their password. Small percentage of people, might die. All those little things you've got to take into account, and that percent of people that are losing their Ethereum is almost going to negate the 2% inflation rate as we continue to grow in popularity. So I don't think that's a real argument at this point. The next one is that Ethereum's fees are lower, and he's saying that they're not, but he's talking about Poloniex, and at the moment, $1 versus a few cents for Bitcoin. That's Poloniex's choice. Okay, a lot of the markets in general, the networks in general, Ethereum has lower fees than Bitcoin at the moment, and it's the other way rather than the way he presents this argument. Okay. Next point, Ethereum is not decentralized. So even though Bitcoin's decentralized, there's no one creator apart from Satoshi who's anonymous. He's arguing that Vitalik is a dictator because he has the power to change things. Okay, and Vitalik's a really cool, open-minded guy, unbiased. I don't think you can make the argument that he's a dictator and he's trying to make a coin that's not decentralized. And the argument he brings up is when Ethereum's not immutable, which means going back and rewriting the code or changing a block in the history. And the time that they did this was when one of the companies using Ethereum got hacked and $150 million got drained, okay? And the Ethereum developers said, hey, this isn't right. We're going to undo it. We're going to take the money back off the hacker and give it back to the innocent users. And I think that's an exception. It's not a rule. They're not just going to keep doing this and changing things they don't like every time in the future. I think they did the right thing and for a specific reason. The Ethereum Enterprise Alliance, okay? So his next argument is that all these big Fortune 500 companies, Toyota, Samsung, JP Morgan, are using a private version of the Ethereum blockchain, which is true, and they're developing, they're working on it, seeing if they can use it to enhance their business. But once this stuff all succeeds and the network scales, there's no doubt in my mind that they're going to tie in with the public, the actual Ethereum chain, and they're going to want to do business with all the other businesses that are using the Ethereum chain. And naturally, we're all going to be using the public chain. So I think they're going to tie in with it, and I don't think you can use that as an argument, okay? I do want to bring up some points that he makes that I do agree with as well. So the ICO bubble, I made a video last night about, is this getting out of hand? So he makes the argument that, startup companies shouldn't need more than a few $1,000,000 to get off the ground, and we're seeing hundreds of millions of dollars being thrown at a few of these things. And that's why I want you to watch last night's video and make sure you're not throwing money at projects that aren't going to succeed, okay? Next up, I just want to bring up this article, Zero Hedge, one of my favorite websites. I read every morning and night. They've got news on there that you won't see on mainstream channels, okay? So I think the state of Illinois it was that are looking to bring in this new law for people declaring if you've got more than $10,000 worth of cash or cryptocurrency, and they're trying to dress it up as a way to stop terrorism and that sort of thing, as they always do. But whenever you read any of these articles, okay, or any of these news, you've got to understand a certain percentage of people are going to see it as bad or good or a non-issue, and that's what creates market. There's always a buyer and seller that's willing to trade at a given price. So read these news articles, digest it, and decide if the fundamentals of trade change for you with the coin that you've bought. Some good news here, as I spoke about the other day, Morgan Stanley, one of the large brokers, large bank in America, getting flooded with calls to explain why Bitcoin is soaring. And a lot of these institutional guys stick to the markets they know, and they're still only discovering Bitcoin, Ethereum, and cryptocurrency. So I think if these guys like what they see, they've got plenty of money in their pockets to see a new wave of fresh funds flood into the crypto space, okay? Some more good news. We saw the global blockchain conference in China over the past 2 days. There were rumors that more Enterprise Ethereum Alliance members were going to be announced. I haven't seen that as of yet, okay, but keep an eye out. Swarm City, have a read about them. Another really cool company releasing their minimal viable product today. A lot of you guys are excited for the Status ICO on Friday night, okay? Have your funds ready. Another point I wanted to touch on is how busy the Ethereum network and congested it's been getting around these ICOs. So have your finger ready to press the button, ready to pull the trigger if you want to get into these ICOs, because they're going to sell out in quick time. And I know a lot of people are keen on Status. It's going to sell out pretty quick, and the network's going to get congested. The gas price and fees are going to go up, so be prepared to pay a little bit more than you normally would for a transaction. But it's worth it if you want to buy one of these good ICOs and you're not getting sucked into the hype. Okay. Finally, on days like this, I ask myself, have the fundamentals changed? And Vitalik's just an awesome, level-headed, unbiased guy, in my opinion. And he had a few tweets today. The basic premise was that he knows Bitcoin maximalists are out there and they're going to hate on Ethereum, but it's all part of the free market, and he wants both to prosper, okay? They can do different things. Even if Bitcoin remains the main currency, okay, Ethereum's still going to build its smart contracts, its platform for its apps, and there's always going to be a certain percentage of people that's still going to use it as money, even if that's not what it was ideally created for, okay? So technical level, you guys know that certain levels that I was looking at, 300, a big psychological number. I had a buy order set there today and was lucky enough to get it filled, and this is still long-term buy and hold stuff for me, okay? If you've got the few years time frame, don't even worry about this technical analysis stuff. Set a price you're happy to buy it and hold it for the long term. Don't check the market every minute and freak out if we get a spike down and whatnot. the large trend lines are still intact. Like I said, we're up hundreds of dollars in the last month. These things are going to have healthy corrections. I'll let you guys know if things change, and I think we're starting in a bear market or whatnot. But for now, I think it's all still good. Okay, so thanks for everyone for tuning in. Give this video a thumbs up and share it around if you want more of these videos. Cheers, guys.